Hey guys, oh my gosh, it's been like the longest it has been because I have felt so terribly sick like the past week, and I still kind of do feel like the same, but just with some pain. So it's not like so mental anymore, and it's not so like disabling. So I'm like finally able to come out here at night, and like sit down and talk for a while. It's been like a lot of dizziness, a lot of Disney. Oh my gosh, a lot of dizziness and just mental fog. So, but I've just been hoping it gets better, and doing anything I can to take care of myself. And so I feel better now. I really need to like make up for it or something. So, but this topic today for this video is so personal to me, and it's also something like so it's personal to me, and it's never something that I looked at differently ever, or never something that I tried to look into the other perspective of it, because when I did that, it hurt so bad. Because it's something that I've had and I've carried with me for so long now, to just give it up, like it's like my brain, my body doesn't know anything else but that. It's like withdrawal, it's like an addiction, and it's like anything else. It's like, I feel like people, like we have addictions, like everybody has addictions, everybody has like the way that they are with things. So this is a big one for me. So this is like being a student of life as a coping mechanism. So like my take on it in my video, and the point of this is it being used as a coping mechanism, which I sometimes see in others. And I want to go into, first of all, what it is. I want to go into the positive, and then the negative. And the negative for me is like what I've been thinking about recently, and I want to take into consideration in my life, because I never have before. So what is it? Student of life. So this is like a philosophy that can be similar to, I don't know how to pronounce them, should have looked that up before I did the video, but it's like Taoism, communism, Stoicism, nihilism, like the one with the N. Is it stoic? Like stoicism? Correct me in the comments. Like I can spell it, but I can't pronounce it. You probably heard of those before. They're just old philosophies. Buddhism, anything like seemingly like with that ism. Just it's like a way of life. It's a way of thinking. It's your approach to life, and I would even call it like the way that you cope with life, because if you have a philosophy, a philosophy, dare I say, is like pretty much like a religion. It's something that you follow. It's your constant approach to life. So also correct me if I'm wrong, if this does have a proper name, like being a student of life. So so the positives of it that I want to introduce, of what it is. So you see everything, and you see everyone, and you see every circumstance as something giving you a lesson. You are the student, and life is constantly giving you things or throwing things at you, and your first reaction to it is observation, and you take in everything that you can from it, and you're not afraid, and like you don't run away from it, and it's like you're being constantly being given homework, and life says, here, this is, I want you to study up on it, I want you to learn everything that you can about it, and then once you've learned everything you can about it, then like that topic's over, and then on to the next, almost, sort of. So you, the student of life, like what I said, you accept the presence. Like once you are the student of life, you accept the presence of anything, anyone, any circumstance, any problem, any grand thing, maybe it's like a good thing, any good thing that happens in your life, you accept its presence so easily because you think to yourself that you gain knowledge from it, or you gain something. And people that aren't students of life commonly will, when there's sorry, there's like a bug that keeps coming. So people that don't follow this philosophy or don't have this present in their life, commonly, maybe like for example, like when a problem happens, or something disastrous is thrown their way, they emotionally accept it into their life. They're not a student, they don't mentally accept it as like a challenge or something to overcome. They emotionally accept it, and they get upset about it and they complain about it. And I think this is normal for everybody, me personally, and I hated the way that this made me feel, personally. Like, things happened and I would be very like emotional about it, and it'd get me down, and I'd overthink everything, like overthink about it and just obsess over it because it was something out of my control, and it made me feel bad about myself. But it's like when you're a student of life, you're seeing this as gained knowledge, and because gaining knowledge makes you better, and it's like survival, like biologically, it makes you better, it teaches you something, it feeds your ego, and it makes you stronger and you feel better. So it's almost like you start looking forward to anything that life throws at you, and you're like, come and get me, because this is a good thing, this feeds me. So this is a very, very positive way to look at life. Amazing, because life kind of is all about like survival, and then like living, like we're all trying to survive. So if we recognize problems or anything as opportunities to feed our survival and feed our victory in life, that fuels us. It's amazing. It's an amazing outlook. It's an amazing approach. So the one to go down from that, so like I said, you mentally accept things because you're a student. You're not like an emotional being. You're a student. This means that your heart is not allowing it. Only your brain does. So this is very important. So you're untouchable. So your brain accepts it, your heart does not, this is like you're untouchable, you're unattached, you're very mentally focused. And it's like, I love using this kind of visual example. So it's like if someone were to hug you, like a student of life, someone that is so smart for their own good. If someone were to hug that person, think of like a smart professor, or think of like a crazy smart wizard or even like in Back to the Future, Doc, people that are just so obsessed with learning and so obsessed with like their hobby and their passion. It's like if you were to hug them, if you were to touch them, if you were to turn them around, grab their shoulders and like give them a kiss, it's almost like they jump up shocked, just shocked, because they've been so out of touch with their heart, because they're never in touch with their heart, and in the way that they walk through life like this. A recent example is like the book Piranesi by Susanna Clark. This is not an example. This is like maybe the only thing that I can think of where the main character, Piranesi, is a student of life, but he was also emotional, and you could tell that throughout the book, and you could tell like the loneliness, but he would cope with the loneliness, or it's not like he avoided, it's like he didn't know any better. He had been this way for so long that he didn't even know he was lonely. He didn't even know what his heart was needed, because it was never actively present in his life. It was not used. That's a good example. So personally, for me, this was like a coping mechanism for me. I mean, like when I look back, this probably started, I feel like I've been this way for as long as I can remember, when there was just a lot of chaos in my life. Like a lot of distress. There were just way too many negative things. And I was very young. And I needed a way to mentally cope. I needed to find some sort of light, and because there obviously was not going to be one, it was like I turned the negative into some sort of good by learning from it and logging that. And I'll get to that in a second, because I needed so badly to feed my ego. I needed so badly to feed myself in some way, to be leveling up in some way, even though I was in a situation where it was so seemingly that I couldn't, type of thing. And I think that a lot of people that are students of life have this traumatic reason to be so, sort of. Unless they have that healthy heart loving outlet, which sometimes I do see them, but it almost like it takes effort to get into that like mode. So that's what like I'm talking about. That's why I'm talking about this. So next, holding on to the pure and essy thought, especially if you've read that before, and saying what I said. So students of life, what do they do with this information? This is also so important. A commonplace journal. If you never heard of a commonplace journal, so a commonplace journal would be a perfect thing for a student of life to keep. Because it's like, what do you do with all this stuff that you learn? You could just, sit there and figure it all out in your brain, but then it's like you have nothing to show for it, and you're already in this ego-feeding mindset. So it's like you're like, okay, I'm so smart, I've learned all this. I need to show this. I need to show it off. I need to express myself. I need to have it known, So a commonplace journal, an amazing thing, is like a huge collection of thoughts, questions, events, and what you learn throughout your life. It's everything. It's everything, like from your brain, everything, maybe even too from your heart, if you're good with that, just that's happened in your life. So everything that you've gained, for ego purposes, I think to show it off, possibly too, as I've seen historical figures in the past. A good example is Napoleon. I think he had a commonplace journal. Is you can have a return on it in the future, meaning money, or maybe it could just be something personal to you and you don't sell it, which you should. You should always look for a return on things. Something that you put so much effort into. This is like a side note. Something that you put so much effort into, you should always unashamed look for a return on it. It's like you gain respect maybe from it. You gain wisdom. You gain money. You gain memory, or you give memories to others through it. That's like the return and the give. So personally, I have kept my commonplace for for 10 years now, really. I've been keeping a commonplace. And if you want to start on a commonplace, I feel like I should make that like another video. But you just, everything throughout your day, everything that you thought, every memory that you recalled, what it meant to you, anything, literally anything from your brain. Think of it like you're in science class, that you are in an experiment, and here are my observations for the day. Like, you can be in work and you can detach from the job maybe that you don't like being at work. You can detach from that by saying, okay, what can I learn from this experience of being here? What can I learn from these coworkers that I don't like? And you write down everything that you know about them. And this just can go on and on and on. And you notice if you do this, it feeds your ego. So, and it will feed your ego, because you'll be like, I'm so intelligible about this. I know so much about it. I know the why and everything. So it's an ego boost. And when we have ego boosts, we feel happy. We feel more in control. And that's not a bad thing to chase. Don't be ashamed of what you need. So now, dude, now though, I did want to go into the negative and why this topic came up in the first place for me. So this approach to life is socially and emotionally weak. It's because it's like you can't be a student just everywhere in every circumstance. You know, it's like you can't have a love life that way, a great one. It's like you're shorting your partner on things that they need in their relationship. What your friends need, what your family needs. You can't be in student mode all the time. And if you are, you're struggling emotionally. If you can't make that easy shift. I think Albert Einstein was really good at this shift, where he could be so intelligent, but then he could also be in romantic relationships and be a good person to go to, like be a good mentor and a good friend to like colleagues. I think he had like compassion in that way, and he had mastered that. But maybe even sometimes I wonder, like with Leonardo da Vinci, it's almost like they are such a student of life that their heart is so disconnected, or like if they die a virgin and they're just so out of touch, and it's like they're so far gone, nobody can touch their heart to bring them back. And that is what's really scary about this, is that coping mechanisms are so great, but they're so hard to pull away from. They're so hard to have the courage to pull away from. And personally, I want to have the courage to do anything if it means that I'm better off socially and I can better off make connections, because I know because of this student of life approach, I have not been good at that. Like, I started to wonder, how does my approach, and think about it, even if you don't currently have this coping mechanism, what's a coping mechanism that you have that is actively affecting others in your life? Is it being nonchalant? Is it being avoidant? Is it not saying what you need from others? Is it belittling yourself? Anything. How do you cope with things? What are you going through? How can you get over that? To not be dependent on anything. So the student of life without the heart, they're oblivious to this. They can be distant, aloof, detached, and hard to reach. So in relationships, to prove that this is socially an issue, so a problem arises and you automatically approach logically instead of emotionally. So in the relationship, you need to recognize, you need to, and I've gotten way better about this, but in the past, like, you need to recognize that, okay, I'm in an emotional situation. Because I'm with this partner that I emotionally care about with my heart before my mind. This is an emotional situation. I need to fix it, and I need to approach it emotionally with my heart open, with care. It's not like we're in class. It's not like we're business partners and we have solved everything with logic. It doesn't work. It's not sweet. You need to think of your partner as like fragile, and they need affection from you. They don't need you're so guarded when you use your brain. So that's something that's just not good. I was guilty of it. I've gotten so much better. You need to recognize the situation that you're in. And if you don't recognize the situation and you're just continuously logical, you won't be in an emotional situation, and you probably will no longer be in a romantic relationship with this person. So next is when problems in the emotional circumstance situation happens, like in a romantic relationship, you should not be resulting to your commonplace, to complain about things or detach from things, detach from how did my partner hurt me, or detach from, oh, why do I feel like I need more physical affection from my partner, blah blah blah. Oh, biologically humans need touch. Like, it's almost a little bit ridiculous. I'm guilty of this. I've gotten way better, but it's so easy to find so much comfort in your commonplace, especially for me. I've had it all my life. I'm literally talking about a journal, guys, right now, a paper journal. I have such a strong attachment to it. My whole life's in there, so easy to go to that and talk to that. I'm not crazy. Talk to that instead of your partner, but you need to talk to your partner in this emotional situation. It's not your brain anymore. It's not your ego. That's just a red flag. If you treat your relationship as a learning experience and a science experiment, that it will stay, and you're not moving forward in life doing this. And lastly, this is like really hurtful to say and really hurtful to notice, that I could have avoided, but like with social norms and like with friendship, it's almost like when you approach friendship, which should be so easy, or getting along with people, that should be so easy, when you let your heart lead. When you let your heart lead, you have pure confidence this way. When you're letting your brain lead and you're constantly overthinking maybe things that you say and the things that are going to happen, and oh, what type of relationship do me and this person have? How many times do we need to hang out? No. Like, your heart needs to be very present when you're socializing. I think more than your brain, because then it's genuine. And people know this, and people will pick up on if you're just overthinking and you're so anxious because you're using your brain. I think you need to recognize this, and you need to relax. When I realized this is very heartbreaking, just because, shout out to like my other people that are students of life, it's really just like, oh my gosh, I've gotten so comforted by my coping mechanism that to be plucked out from there, my heart's out in the open, you don't know how to navigate, but you need to practice. It's so important. So, super, super emotional. It's so good to really be in touch with yourself, in touch with your body, in touch with your heart, and to know what you're using specifically at any moment when you react to things and when you communicate, like what you're putting out there into the world, and if that's appropriate, and if that is so smartly a tactic that you're using, so this was like a lot. I didn't think that I would talk this long about it, but it came so easy to me. This is so personal. I want to get better, and if there's anybody out there struggling with being attached to this, being attached to your commonplace, and being just attached to this detached approach therapy, I suggest. I'm passionate about that therapy. So therapy and a want to get better. You have to want to be different. You have to want to put your heart out there. Especially that last thing I said about the socializing with your heart and not your head. Things will, not your brain. People respect you more. People will respect you more. People will be more attracted to you, gravitated towards you. Try it out. So I hope the cicadas are not too annoying. It's just summertime, and hope you like the purple lighting and the cheetah print. I get so many compliments when I wear a cheetah print because it matches my hair too. Is that kind of cool? You see that? Cheetah. So I'm craving a milkshake, so I'm gonna go try to get that. I'm so in good spirits to finally do this video. I'll have to come back, maybe even tomorrow, to make another one. So good night, guys.